Hi friends, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. Today I wanted to sit down and do a little chit chat with you guys and kind of like do my makeup and just sit down and chat, but my battery died while I was doing my freaky makeup, so that is not happening today because as you can see my makeup is on, but this has really been weighing on my heart, and I really do want to have this conversation with you guys. So I'm just gonna sit here and talk, and hopefully you can just grab some popcorn and we can just sit down and have a little chit chat video together. I think that sounds good. One of the things that drives me absolutely insane is the shadows that my glasses put on my eyeballs and the glares that they put on my glasses. There's nothing that I can do about it. This is probably like the best that I can get. I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder and I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. So hopefully it doesn't drive you crazy as it does me. It's probably just me. But anyways, I'm just gonna jump in and start talking, okay? One of the things that has been weighing on my mind a lot is self-love and body confidence and how to achieve that. So the reason that this even came to my mind is because on Easter, my grandmother like sat me down and she was like, so tell me about this YouTube channel that you have. And she's been watching my videos, and most of the responses that I've gotten after starting this channel, and especially after I started doing the swimsuit videos, is, oh my gosh, you're so brave. Or, wow, that's amazing, I'm so proud of you, but I could never do that. And that just started rubbing me kind of funny. And I know that they don't mean it in a bad way. I know that they mean it in a good way. And I know that no one's being mean to me when they say those things. But it really did get my gears turning, you know? And I was like, well, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I know that I have been on a self-love journey for about 4 years now. I'm not gonna lie. Like a serious, hardcore self-love journey for about 4 years. And I'll get into that in a second. But I think that it started turning my gears and stuff because I was like, well, one of the reasons that I started this channel was because I want other people to feel that way. I get on social media and I see people on Twitter saying that they can't wait to get their summer body so they can get a bathing suit, or they don't feel adequate enough without a tan, or maybe they just can't get their baby weight off and they feel really crappy. And all of those things really break my heart, and I'm just like, wow, I just want everyone to feel the way that I do about myself, because I really do love myself and I'm confident, and I'm not perfect at all. Like, please don't get me wrong, I'm going to go into that in a second too. Like, I'm going to take you on this journey with me, and I'm going to try to make it as short and sweet and to the point as possible. But like, so my grandma sent me down at Easter and she was like, so how do you do that? She's also a plus size woman. And she was like, so how are you so confident? Like, how do you do it? How do you mentally take on putting your body in a bathing suit onto the internet? She was like, I could never do that, and I just don't understand how you did it. And I was like, well, I just love myself, and it doesn't bother me to put myself out there. Like, I want other people, especially little girls that are plus size. I was a plus size little girl, and I think that it's really important for those people. There's a fly in here, Jesus. I think it's really important for little girls especially to see someone in a bathing suit and be confident, and that was something that made me start my channel. And she was like, okay, yeah, I get that you're confident, I get that you love yourself, but how did you get to that point? Like, how do I get to the point that you're at? And so I was like, I don't know. Like, yes, I've been on a self-love journey for a long time, but being asked the question, how did you get to this point? What were the steps that you took on this self-love journey? Jesus Christ really stumped me. I didn't know how to answer the question. I didn't know what to do. And so it's been on my mind ever since Easter, and it's really been just turning my gears. So I have come up with a couple things that I think could start your self-love journey, and I want to share that with you guys because it's really, really, really important to me, and I'm very passionate about it, and I really just want everyone to feel love and confidence and like enjoy their lives and stop obsessing over diet culture and stop obsessing over the size jeans that you're in and the number on the scale. Like, I just really want that for everyone, okay? And so that is where we're going with this, okay? So about 4 years ago, I started my self-love journey. And I was really obsessed. Well, about 5 years ago, I would say I was super duper obsessed with the way that I looked. I was super obsessed with going to the gym. I went to the gym like 6 days a week. I was at a really weird place 5 years ago when I did this. I had just gotten out of like a really bad breakup, and it was just like a revenge body, if you will. It wasn't necessarily for me, and it wasn't necessarily in good conscious, if you understand what I'm saying. I wasn't doing it for the right reasons. I was doing it for all the wrong reasons. And I really did think that using my body as a weapon against someone else, saying like, oh, I'm gonna look so good now that we broke up, and they're gonna look at me and blah 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 blah. You know, you've heard it a million times, maybe you've even done it, and that is so bad and toxic. And I think that really shows how we all want to use our bodies as weapons. And I think that's something that we all need to realize, is that we've been using our body as a weapon against ourselves. And wow, that is really heavy, isn't it? That's a really heavy topic to talk about, but it's true. I mean, I think one of the very first steps that you have to take on your self-love journey is realizing, and listen to me, please listen to me, just realizing that the problems that you have with yourself are 100% you. And I know that that can be really hard and hard to understand. So let me take you on this journey with me. And I'll tell you how I did step one. So I would say about 4 years ago, I had started college. Me and Josh were together. So that whole other thing that I said 5 years ago was out of my mind. I wasn't going to the gym anymore. But that started to hit me when I started college and I started gaining weight. I started to go to the gym, try to go to the gym, or beat myself up about not going to the gym. And I started looking online and wishing that I looked like all these people, and wishing that I could have, or even looking at old pictures of myself and wishing that I had looked like that and that I had kept it up. And I really beat myself up about it, and I had to buy new clothes because I gained enough to not fit in my clothes, and it was hard. It was really hard. But I remember watching this video of Sarah Ray Vargas, and she was just talking about like loving herself and stuff, and it sparked something in me that really made me want to feel that way about myself. I did not go to sleep that night and wake up the next morning feeling fantastic about myself at all. That is not at all what happened. And I need everyone to understand that this is not something that's going to happen overnight at all. But I did start thinking about it, and I remember posting a picture of myself in shorts and a tight t-shirt, and my stomach looked really big in the picture. And I remember just being like, I'm so over worrying about my weight all of the time. Like, it was something that I was always thinking about. I was always worried about how I looked in my clothes and like everything about it. I was always worried about it. And I remember just something sparked that day, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this picture. So I took a picture, posted online, and I was like, I'm so over this. I'm so over worrying about it. I love myself. I'm over it. And in the moment of me posting that picture, I 100% meant it. I did. I was like, oh, I love myself. I don't care that my stomach's fat. I don't care that I have a double chin. I don't care. I love myself. And did I mean it in that moment? Sure. Did the next day when I looked at myself, did I feel the same way? No. And I think that that's true for a lot of people. Do I still have days where I look at myself and I don't necessarily love every inch of what I see in the mirror? Sure. I think that a lot of people do that. But I think that over the 4 years and over this self-love journey, I have come a really long way where it's the complete opposite than it was before. I think that when I started 4 years ago, it was the majority of the time I hated myself, and I would have these little baby moments where I would love myself. And now it's the complete opposite, where 99% of the time I'm like on board and love myself. But of course I still have my moments, and I still have my days where there's things that I don't like, and there's flaws that I point out in myself. So to start it off, I think what you need to realize is that thing that you don't love about yourself, that flaw that just wears you down, that just really gets at you, that's always on your mind, that one thing, maybe it's 2 things, maybe it's 5 things, you know? I don't know your basket, I don't know how full it is, but they're really just battles that you're setting for yourself. There are mental barriers that you're setting for yourself. And it's 100% like an argument that you're having with yourself, and I hope that you can understand that. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. I hope I'm being very clear. Because after you realize that you're doing it to yourself, and after you realize that you're beating yourself up, you're mentally hurting yourself, you're mentally punching yourself in the face constantly and telling yourself that you're not good enough, I think that that's where you have to start. Because imagine the person that you love the most. Maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your best friend, maybe it's your spouse. Imagine you looking at them and saying, wow, you look really fat today. Imagine you saying, wow, your double chin is like really out today. Or imagine you saying, like, in that dress, everyone's staring at your pooch, like, can you believe it? Like, all those things that you say to yourself in your head, can you imagine saying them to someone else that you love? No. The answer is no. If you say yes, that's another subject, because you have something wrong with you. That's like a whole nother thing that you need to go talk to somebody about. Most of you probably said no. You would never say something like that to somebody else, especially someone that you love. And you should be in the category of people that you don't want to say that to. You should love yourself that much that you don't want to say those things to it. You don't want to beat your friends down. You don't want to beat your siblings down, your family, like whoever it is. You don't want to beat them down mentally. With your words, or mentally, whatever. You don't want to do that to them. So why are you doing it to yourself? See? That's where you have to start. You have to start there. And you have to look at yourself in the mirror. This is the first step. Realizing that you're the problem. You're doing it to yourself. And then looking at yourself in the mirror and accepting yourself 100% for what you are. 100%. And when I say 100%, that's going to lead me into thing number 2. And thing number 2 is to love yourself 100% without the ifs, the ands, or the buts. Without the ifs, the ands, and the buts. What I mean by that is loving yourself unconditionally and not saying, well, I would totally love myself if I was like as skinny as that girl. Or I would totally love myself, but I haven't lost 5 pounds yet. I would totally love myself if I gained 10 pounds. This isn't a conversation just for fat people. This is a conversation for everybody. Every single person. Everyone needs to learn how to love themselves. And it's not a conversation just for fat people, because I know that every single person has something they don't love about themselves, and I know that everyone struggles with accepting and loving themselves for who they are. It doesn't matter what kind of body type that you have. I'm obviously speaking from the perspective of a fat woman. And I'm allowed to say fat. Please do not comment and say, you're not fat, you're just whatever you would like to say. Because I am fat, and that's okay with me. The word fat is not a cuss word to me, and it is just something that I am, and it's fine. Everyone has fat on their body, and that is probably a conversation for another day, so I'm going to keep going. So, you have to accept yourself 100% for what you see. And the third thing is, the thing that keeps you from doing that is probably social media. And so I would really suggest that after you accept, okay, well, I am beating myself up mentally, and after you say, okay, well, I'm going to stop saying if, and but, you have to find out the things that trigger those. And it's probably someone on social media. You probably scroll through Instagram or Facebook. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's family, maybe it's a celebrity. It's probably a celebrity, because you don't know them, and so you can't justify things in your head about them. You just make up scenarios. And So I would suggest that you find that person. Maybe it's Kylie Jenner, maybe it's Blake Lively, maybe it's Taylor Swift, maybe it's Kim Kardashian. Those are just some random people that popped in my head. I don't know who it is for you, but I highly suggest unfollowing them until you're at a place of so much self-love that you're not going to compare yourself into a corner of self-hatred. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. And it sucks. And maybe it is a friend or a family member, and that sucks too. But your mental health and your self-love journey needs this. It needs you to unfollow those people. Like, you're going to have to unfollow those people so that you can have peace with yourself. And then maybe later on down the road, it might be 4 years like me. It took me about 4 years to get to a place where I wanted to make videos like this. You can look on Instagram. I've posted pictures of my bathing suits within the last 4 years. But to really want to share my experience and be comfortable and transparent with everything, it took me a long time. So this isn't going to be something that's super easy and fast, but it's definitely something that everyone can do. So don't look at me, please, please, please. Don't look at me and don't look at anyone else and say, well, yeah, I could feel that way and I could be that way and I could do those things if I was like them. Because you can be. I really want everyone to go on this journey and love themselves, because it just breaks my heart so much. And so we're going to go back over all the steps again. So step number 1, you're the problem. And you have to accept that you're the only person that sees your flaws. Something else that I thought about is, let's just say that your problem is your stomach. Maybe you think it sticks out really bad and you have rolls or something. Maybe it's not really that bad, but you think it is. No, let's just say it is. Let's say it is. Let's say it is that bad. Maybe you have a bunch of rolls on your stomach. Maybe you don't feel comfortable going to the bathing suit, getting in a bathing suit and going out in public. Maybe you don't want to go to the pool. You're missing out on having fun and enjoying yourself because you're so worried about what other people are going to think of you. But let me put this into perspective for you. So when you do go to the pool and you see other people in bathing suits, do you sit there and break them down in your head? Probably not. You might acknowledge them. You might be like, oh, there's a girl here and her bathing suit is cute. Or maybe you're like, oh, her bathing suit's not that cute. Whatever it may be. And that's probably the end of your thought process with them, you know? And so, absolutely, you're not going to go to the pool and walk into the gates and someone's not going to immediately be like, oh my God, I cannot believe that she's here in that bathing suit. Does she not realize that she's fat? No one. No one else sees your flaws but you. That is so important. So important. You are the one that are drawing your flaws out and beating yourself up. You're the only person that sees that it's a flaw. And even if you have someone in your life, because I have had people in my life that say things about my weight and okay, I'm back. I had to go clear up my memory card. Hopefully I'm not that much off. I'm sitting pretty much in the same spot, I think. But anyways, let's go back to the conversation. So maybe you do have someone in your life that points out your flaws, because I was just talking about the pool situation and how no one else is seeing your flaws like you do. Maybe you do have someone in your life that points it out and makes you feel bad about it. And that person is toxic, but that is also another conversation for another day. I think that if you're beating yourself up every day and you're making yourself feel bad about yourself, that's where we're starting, because the self-love journey does have to start with you. And after you learn to love yourself and accept yourself for who you are, 100%, like I said, no ifs, ands, or buts, then we can start working on the people in our lives. I know that some of us have family members, maybe some friends. Honestly, if you're in a relationship, friendship relationship, or a romantic relationship, if they're not loving you and accepting you for who you are, making you feel good about yourself, that's probably toxic. But that's also a conversation for another day. Today I really want to focus on starting this journey, how to start this journey, and then you know, we'll move on from there. Like, maybe there will be a part 2 and 3 for the next steps. But I think the first 3 steps are going to be realizing that you're the problem. Because even if there's someone else in your life saying things about you, there has to be a point where, like, you take that in and you start destroying yourself with it, you know? Like, if someone commented on my video and said, wow, you have giant ears, that's not going to bother me because I don't really think my ears are giant. But if I didn't love myself, I could take that comment and I could start thinking about my ears all the time and start beating myself up about it and want to, like, hide my ears all the time, you know? See the difference? So we have to start with ourselves. And then number 2, no ifs, ands, or buts. I would love myself if I lost this weight, or but I'm not skinny enough, or yeah, if I looked like her. And then 3 is unfollowing the her, or the him, or the them, or the they, or the whoever they are. Unfollow them. If they are making you think bad things about yourself, if they're making you compare yourself constantly and wishing you were them, and like those people, everyone has someone like that online. You just have to unfollow them. And there are plenty accounts that you can follow that will make you feel good about yourself. I do have some recommendations on plus size accounts. I share them on Instagram all of the time if you want to follow me on there. Every single time anyone I follow posts anything like super positive, body positive, or body confidence or anything, I always share it in my story because I want everyone to see it and I want everyone to feel good about themselves. So if you follow me on there, you will definitely get recommendations. And I think that's where I'm going to stop the video. I think that is definitely where this has to end. So those are the first 3 steps that I have to starting your self-love and body confidence journey. There are definitely more steps that you have to take. This is not like a piece of cake that you just cut it and you eat it and you have a party. Like, this is something that you really have to start with the flour and the sugar, and you really have to bake the cake and make it and all the things. Was that a good analogy? I hope so. I hope that was not stupid, but I hope it made sense. It made sense to me. But yeah, I think that we have to start somewhere, and this is ground 1. Ground 1 is you. That's where we're going to start. And maybe I'll think more on this, and my gears will start turning again, and there will be a second video. Or maybe you guys just have questions about how to deal with it and how to get through the certain things. Maybe I can make a video just answering those kind of questions, because I really, truly just want everyone to love themselves and feel good about their bodies in anything that they put on. And I think that, like, bathing suits and lingerie are the most vulnerable. And I think that that is something that I feel really passionate about, because I want everyone to just enjoy their lives. I'm like, I really hope everyone can find a bathing suit if they love this swimsuit season. And I say that because I know that that's one of the most vulnerable things. And if you can love yourself in a bathing suit, and you can go out and enjoy your life regardless of who's around or who might see you or what flaws you think you have, like, I think that is also a step of, like, taking your self-love and confidence and taking it beyond, you know? So I'm just rambling at this point because I've hit all the points that I was thinking about. So I guess I will let you guys go. Let you go, because I've just been holding you hostage this whole time. So if you want to DM me on Instagram, you're 100% welcome to. If you want to carry this conversation on with each other in the comments, I super encourage it, and I would love to see that. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!